I love me because in New England, I'm gonna hit this option here so that it's recording. It's also a wonderful time in New England because farmers markets, right? We had that long winter season, and now as spring is happening, there are a few fruits and veggies that were growing underground or in greenhouses, and they're ready to go. So starting at the end of this month, farmers markets around Boston will have fresh local. Right? They're so similar. And the last reason I chose this recipe, which is a ginger dressing with a summer noodle, is because while some folks are new today, most of us have been here together for a few months now. We're gonna combine things. We're gonna make a dressing, which we've done before. If you're new, don't worry, we'll get you caught up. The second thing we'll do, we'll boil our noodles. We practiced boiling pasta last month. And the third thing, it will saute some veggies, and we'll combine those three things. So 3 skills. We'll be doing making a dressing from scratch, boiling noodles, and then sauteing veggies. And those 3 skills together will combine to make a delicious meal. So thumbs up if you're ready for that. Thumbs up. All right, I can't see the thumbs, but I'll trust the thumbs are out there. So let's get started. As usual, I like to say if you're prepared for this class, it makes the class easier and more fun. So you should have received in your box a recipe, and the team did an amazing job of making the box pretty easy for us. So start by checking the ingredients for the dressing. And while we're checking them, we'll just go ahead and also make the dressing, right? So you should have been asked to get either a jar or a bottle of some sort. Tell us what to do with the corn when it's time. I will tell you what to do with the corn, but for now, we're gonna get all the dressing ingredients together. So if you're following the recipe, the first set of ingredients that says for the dressing, those are the items we wanna have you have out right now. You should have like small containers with a few things combined. We're gonna make our dressing together. So one thing I want to remind you, the olive oil for this recipe was not in your box tonight, but you may have had olive oil sent to you before. Is that correct?
No, but I have.
Okay. Let me speak just quickly so everybody knows. Everybody got a container in your big Ziploc bag that has the soy sauce. It's the one that's very liquidy. That's got your soy sauce, olive oil, sesame oil, and balsamic vinegar. You should have gotten a note right in your Ziploc bag. One of the containers, the one that's very liquidy, has those 4 ingredients that are for the dressing, and they are already measured and put together. So all you will have to do is pour that all in. So that's the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, the 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, the teaspoon of balsamic vinegar, and the 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I think I hit them all.
Okay, great. So
as for the lime or lemon juice, that's a fresh lemon or lime in your box. So Chef Tamika will tell you what to do with that.
Yeah, perfect. So let's get started with our dressing recipe, right? So all the liquid ingredients that we were given earlier, you should have those prepared. I like to make my dressing in a bottle, just so I can have it squeezed onto my veggies. A jar is okay. If you have a bowl, that's okay. Whatever you have that has a lid, or you can use a whisk or fork to emulsify or to get that dressing like incorporated. So let's get started. I'm going to combine, just to make sure you have the olive oil. Mine is in the jar here. You have your soy sauce, your honey.
Oh, that's a nice line you drew on the ground.
Brown, sticky, or the amber colored, sticky, delicious stuff is the honey. I have mine already in here. Sesame oil. And we haven't worked with sesame oil before, but tiny sesame seeds were toasted. I'll just grab you a few. Sesame seeds are these tiny little seeds. Can you see them, right? That were toasted and then pressed into an oil and has a nutty smell or consistency. But it's not a nut, it's a seed, right? It has a nutty aroma. You should also have your vinegar. In this case, we're using balsamic, which is like a red colored, bright wine colored vinegar. Garlic that's been crushed, salt and pepper, and you should have crushed red pepper. Now the crushed red pepper is optional. I'm using it because I like my thing a little bit spicy. That's completely optional for you. If you have a whole lemon or lime, at this point, I'm gonna have you grab it. I like to knead or roll my lemon or my lime just to kind of get some of those juices going. Also, the palm of my hands kind of warm it up. And then you cut that into two. Some folks have a lemon press. Some folks have a fancy lemon squeeze. I don't have anything per se, but one of the things I learned growing up in the Caribbean, very few resources, I use my hand and I make like a makeshift strainer of sorts. So half your lemon. And then again, if you have the right tool, go ahead and use a lemon press or a strainer. Again, I do this so often. I just like to press my lemon juice into my hands like this and collects the seeds.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you already pour the liquidy foods?
So all liquids right now, we're gonna have them separate. We're just gonna get our lemon juice pressed into our jar. That way we're not trying to do any more activities. And then our next step is to combine all our liquids together and shake or whisk them together.
Oh, thanks. Sorry.
They're already measured for you.
No worries. That's fine.
Yeah, I love that technique. Can I see that one more time? Look at that technique there, right? You're kneading that lemon, trying to get all our lime, getting all those juices out.
So what have we put in the jar right now?
At this point, nothing yet, just a lemon juice. Sorry, not the lemon juice, but you put in the jar.
Let's go see how far ahead they are.
And then once you've put the lemon juice in, to be fair, all the items can go into the jar at once. Ideally for you'd make it, step by step, but because this is going into a salad, you can combine all your ingredients, including your pressed or crushed garlic, as well as your ginger. Now, for those who have fresh ginger, is that the case? Just want to confirm, is there fresh ginger in your boxes?
Everybody should have fresh ginger in their boxes.
Oh, okay.
And if nobody knows what it looks like, oh, there's a good demonstration. I see somebody has theirs out. Thank you for showing us on the camera.
Thank you. I missed that. So if you have fresh ginger, I have my ginger pressed already. Take a spoon, a smallest spoon, like a teaspoon, right? I don't have ginger to demonstrate because I already pressed mine. But imagine this is ginger, which it's not. And you're gonna take your spoon, and your spoon becomes the best ginger peel you could ever find. It goes into all of the knobs and edges. And you take that spoon and just gently remove that skin from the ginger. Again, pretend this is a ginger. Now for the measure of ginger, if you take your index finger and the top part, that's probably about an inch or so, maybe a little more inch. That's the amount of ginger we're looking for today. So you probably have a lot of ginger and it could be frozen, it could be refrigerated, but you're only looking for about an inch or a knob of ginger for this recipe. And there are a few ways you can prepare that ginger. You can use the back of a knife to press against the ginger to flatten it and then chop the ginger. Or if you have a tiny grate, you can grate it. That may require a lot of fine work. So I just say take a knife, press the ginger down, and then chop the ginger. And I'll wait for folks to do that while I grab my ginger. But I already did because I had lots of ginger a few months ago. So I froze them in little pellets. And what you're looking for is ginger like this. So mine have been crushed, super tiny. It doesn't need to be perfect, but just enough ginger to give a nice little bit of spice or oomph to your salad. Now, given the time,
It
I
smells
know we're moving a little
delicious.
bit quicker. If there's more than one people on your team, could get a pan of water, a pot of water on, that would be great.
It smells delicious.
It smells delicious. Great, thank you. And that's only the beginning.
So how much ginger do we add to the jar?
Just an inch. So using the top of your finger, just an inch of ginger. And so just to confirm, one person's working on the ginger, while another person is getting a pan, a stock pot, anything you boil rice or noodles in, someone's getting that ready.
If we use too much ginger, is that gonna ruin it? If we used like 1.5 inches of ginger by accident?
It'll be gingery if you like ginger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, one way, just to suggest one way, if you have a little bit more ginger, maybe if you have extra tomatoes or extra veggies, that will absorb the ginger flavor more.
Is it okay if we add oil to the water?
Yeah, we can start combining. So I'm gonna go ahead and combine all your liquid ingredients at this point. So your ginger, your crushed garlic, your soy sauce, your sesame oil, your balsamic vinegar, all of those should have been pre-measured and ready to go into a jar or a bottle.
So we're just putting this.
He's asking about the boiling water, I think. Yes, you can put a little bit of oil into the boiling water if that's what you were asking.
Thanks, Gabe. Didn't hear that.
So for the dressing, we're just adding this entire container, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Pre-measured just for you.
It was already pre-measured. It was easier way to
So we put
package
the
it.
ginger in with that too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the garlic.
And Chef Tamika, Brendan has his hand up. I think he's got a question.
Go ahead, Brendan. Thank you, Alec.
Question, what does sesame oil look like? I don't know where.
It should already be combined with your other oils. So you may not get to see sesame oil today, but ordinarily it's a dark colored oil that has a nutty flavor.
Wait, all the oils are combined into one?
So if you looked in your big Ziploc bag, there was a round container with a blue top that has a liquid in it.
Right.
Maybe somebody can show theirs. Right. Oh, thank you so much. Whoever's showing. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So you should have a jar that looks like a plastic container that looks like that. That has your olive oil, soy sauce, sesame oil, and balsamic vinegar, all measured, all ready to go. So just pour that into your mixing bowl or your jar, whatever you're making your dressing in. Just add that right to it. And the honey, I see somebody has the honey, that would go in the jar too. I don't know if Chef Tamika has mentioned the honey yet.
Yes, so at this stage, all the ingredients for the dressing, and I'll go ahead and repeat those to you, should be in your jar or your bowl and combined. So you should have the olive oil, the soy sauce, that fresh lime juice that you just made, the honey, the toasted sesame oil, the balsamic vinegar,
So
the
what have we
nub of
added to the
ginger,
jar right now?
the nub of ginger, one moment, the garlic cloves, and it's optional for the red pepper flakes. And there's an option here to add a tad bit of salt. Again, just a pinch of salt, and a pinch is really your 2 fingers having a few pinches of salt. That could be optional. We'll add salt to our salad later on. All those items go in and makes this delicious ginger dressing. As usual, go ahead and taste that dressing just to see what it tastes like. It should be strong in flavor because it won't be had on its own. You'll have it over your salad, right? The salad absorbs it, the noodles. Any more questions? Dressing done? Shake, shake, shake.
Ginger. Excuse
So
me. Is this too much ginger?
How much salt?
A pinch of salt, and a pinch is about a quarter teaspoon.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I had a ginger question. All right, folks.
Is this too much ginger? Is
If
this enough or just?
That's good. That is good. Because ginger tends to be irregular in shape, so just maybe not go over that inch and a half, probably maximum. If you're at 2 inches, it may be too gingery, it may be too spicy for us. All right. So, Elevate team, maybe one person takes on finishing that dressing, because we do need to move on into making our salad.
Have we added the garlic yet?
Yes, at this point, all ingredients for the dressing should be in your jar or in your bottle or in your bowl and mixed in together.
Vinegar.
So all the liquids that were in the Ziploc bag,
Need a what?
all the liquids in the Ziploc bag, your olive oil, the lime juice you just made, your ginger, and your garlic. All those items were combined to make our ginger garlic dressing. I'm gonna start moving this along. You should have a pot of water on for your noodles. Now we're using the noodles called Soba noodles. Soba noodles are, I went to my local H Mart, which is like a Korean American store, and this is a Japanese brand of Soba noodles. I'm not sure what brands you have, but Soba noodles are super delicious. They're nutrient rich. They're made from buckwheat that's been enriched. And they're very delicious.
Look, these are the noodles we have.
Again, they're looks like mine. Now there are lots of different.
Those are the right noodles.
Hundreds of types of noodles. It's being said that in East Asia, in China in particular, where noodles were said to be discovered first, there are hundreds of kinds of noodles. And each province or town or tribe or people may have a different kind of noodle. These are Japanese. So Soba noodles are distinctly Japanese noodles. And they're delicious, cold or hot.
Add the honey to the sauce.
One more time with that question.
Do we add the honey to the salad dressing?
Absolutely. So dressing, all your wet ingredients are in your dressing.
All your ingredients that are in that list under for the dressing part of this recipe. Anything listed there can be in your dressing bottle now.
We put the sesame seed. We put the sesame seeds in the dressing.
Nope. This is
Nope.
sesame oil.
But sesame oil is already in that container of liquid like we were discussing.
Got
So
it.
I know it's a little bit confusing, but if you smell it, you might notice it has sesame oil, it has soy sauce, olive oil, balsamic, those 4 ingredients.
Thanks so much, Gabe. Here's a game plan.
We
Maybe
add the
one person goes through that top list and go check, check, check to make sure all those items are in the dressing. And maybe another person gets that pan of water on, and then that pan, once it comes to a boil, just like last week, and we'll add our noodles. Now, I always want to make sure I'm going at a pace that works for the entire class, but we do need to move from our dressing. So if there are any additional dressing questions, please put those in the chat and we'll be sure to answer those. But just to recap, all our dressing ingredients, so everything that was in that Ziploc bag should be combined at this point alongside your ginger, your garlic, the lime juice you just made fresh, and the olive oil that you have at home. And all of those combined should make up our ginger garlic dressing. And that goes to, sit on the side, but it really incorporates and marinates and really makes a delicious dressing for us.
Do we add the noodles to the hot water?
Once your water is boiling,
Okay.
and you know it's boiling, because again, we're gonna engage our senses. You can hear it rumbling, you can see it where there are bubbles, and you know it's boiling.
question.
Yes, answer.
This also came, two questions actually. This
Sure.
also came in the Ziploc bag. Are we supposed to put that into the sauce yet?
That's an excellent question. That's the sesame seed and that goes on top. Thank you for pointing that out. It wasn't the Ziploc bag, my arrow, but it's dry, so it stays for the finishing of the dish. Great
Okay.
question, thank you.
And we had one big Ziploc and then there was a smaller one that was protecting the liquids inside the big one.
Okay,
And then I have like the Blue Dragon Soba noodles. Can we use
yeah,
that too? Or is it a different type of noodles?
that's a perfect noodles.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So again, one person's on noodle duty, so your pan goes on with boiling water, and then your noodles go in once the water has come to a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare our veggies. So we probably would have grape tomatoes. I love grape tomatoes. They're kind of like little grapes. I went ahead and got like a colorful medley that had like yellow ones, red ones, and I'll take those. Ooh, I actually did all the prep beforehand. I'll cut those. I'll grab one. They're this size, small grape tomatoes. Again, a round object on your cutting board. You shake your chef's knife, goes between your fingers, and those are half. So we're looking for 2 halves. I hear a question.
Excuse me.
Yes.
We got honey, so when do we add the honey? Is it even in the dressing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do we do with the avocado?
So
we put
tomatoes
the
are prepped.
potatoes in a bowl?
Tomatoes are prepped.
Oh, okay.
So all your tomatoes are washed, they're cut in half, so kind of like a grape in 2 pieces, right? The next item we have on our recipe is our corn.
Corn.
Everybody has corn. It came on the cob.
Ooh,
About how many tomatoes would we need?
so if you're making the full recipe that serves about 4 to 6 people, an entire pint of tomatoes is, I think that's what you have, should be sufficient. I am making a half recipe because it's just me and my little one, so I'm only using a few pieces. But the entire pint should be sufficient to give you that beautiful taste.
Chef Tamika, I'm gonna stop you for 1 sec. Love the questions. We're running a little close on time. So if you are able to put your questions in the chat, we'll get right to you and be able to answer it. We'll let Chef Tamika continue with the recipe. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you. Now, if you had corn on the cob, so I had corn that was frozen. Again, when it comes on to veggies, fresh, frozen, or canned, usually fresh is best, but I say let's not discriminate once you have really good veggies. Usually they take fresh corn and they flash freeze it, and then it's just as delicious. But if you have the fresh corn on the cob, I'd say strip that corn down and take a knife, of course with an adult, and just cut the corn off the cob. Now, most likely you'll have sweet corn, and that can be consumed just as it is, and we'll saute those together. So fresh corn on the cob. The next item I should have, again, we'll just have one person do our, veggie check, is some olive oil. Again, you may already have it at home somewhere. My olive oil is here. Then the toasted sesame oil, you should have a separate portion.
We do not. We don't have a separate portion of that.
Okay, if we don't have a separate portion.
Of what are they? Sorry, I was typing to somebody. Who is?
No worries, the sesame oil.
Yeah, so the sesame oil was only already in the liquids for the dressing. If you need oil for sauteing, any oil you have around the house, if you have olive oil, some kind of cooking oil, that's just fine because it's just a tiny bit you're using for that part.
Okay, And our noodles are already in. And then our zucchini. Zucchini. Zucchini is a super delicious veggie. I started to strip mine down. Again, there are a few ways to prep this. I'll remove the ends. So a little knob at the top. I'll remove the bottom. And the recipe asks for it to be done a few ways. It could be spiralized if you want those spiralizers, right? Make it super fancy, and they're called zoodles. Or it says thinly sliced. Again, I like to cut a veggie down the middle to make it more manageable. That way I have two flat sides and they lay on the sides. And then thin slice is just thinking about how you like to enjoy your veggies and knowing that they'll be cooked. I say maybe a 1/4 inch thickness. Again, this is preference. You could do diced if you'd like, but just thinking about the way you like to enjoy your veggies and they'll be cooked. So just to have them be bite size.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Put the question in the chat.
So
Put the question
do we
in.
add the seeds in the dressing?
The sesame seeds, at this point, no. The sesame seeds are for the end of the class.
Only the items that were right in the list for the dressing went into the dressing. Now we went on to the noodles. So Chef D'Amico will tell you what you need for the noodles.
We're prepping our veggies.
Prepping
Again,
the veggies,
make sure I hold my zucchini with my fingers held back and I'm being safe. If you could have the adults in the room, or if you're pretty, proficient at doing this, you can go ahead. I'd say go slow just to be safe. And those are my veggies. So my zucchinis are ready. I'll put those to the side of my cutting board.
Excuse me, what have we done
Yes.
right now?
So at this point, we're preparing all our veggies. We should have our tomatoes cut in half. So our grape tomatoes. Your corn should be prepped and ready to go, so it's off the cob. We're gonna have you have your oils ready when we're ready for those. Your zucchini are diced to bite-sized pieces, so you can pop them in your mouth, you're ready to go. And then the next thing I'm gonna have is my salad greens, so my arugula. They can go in just as is because they'll wilt down. And my next item, I have, my avocado. We're prepping all our veggies. So a few things are happening. You should have dressing already made, and that's put aside to really marinate and really get all those flavors marrying together. The second thing you have going is to pay attention to your Soba noodles that are boiling at this point. And how do you know they're done? You take a fork, you taste them. Again, al dente is like to the touch, so you can still bite into them, but it's really preference. I would say maybe not cook your noodles all the way. Your bag will tell you how many minutes. We have 2 different brands, so mine tells me how many minutes, yours will tell you as well. And that the noodles are going. And then you're also prepping your veggies. Now, usually for class, I know there are some folks who are new, and I definitely want to welcome you to our class. We do like to have our veggies somewhat prepped before class so we can have an amazing time together. So for this class, we're still prepping veggies together, but ideally, if you could take a few moments before class to read the recipe and to prepare some of the veggies, that would be really, really helpful. So I'll recap to make sure we haven't lost anyone. So tomatoes are in half. Your corn is off the cob. Your zucchini has been diced in bite-sized pieces. Your arugula has been washed or prepped, and you already, a cup is okay. Again, a cup is about a handful, so I just went into my box of veggies and just grabbed a cup. I'm calling this a cup, right?
And everybody, it looks like what they gave us this month was some little gem lettuce or something like that. It's not arugula, but that's just fine. Any greens are fine. So just a cup of your greens or big fistful.
A big like this, so that's it. And then the next item we do want to work on is our avocado. Avocados, yeah, right? Again, avocados are from the tropical areas of the world. So Mexico in particular is where most avocados come from to America. Has a really hard skin, soft on the inside. It's a pit. It has a pit as in a seed in the middle. And there are lots of ways to do this. Because there's a seed in the middle, I like to go halfway with my knife on one side, turn around, go all the way, and then I'll take my top and my bottom, because there's a slit around, I just do a twist. Oh, don't fail me now. Ta-da, a twist. To be fair, it doesn't always happen the first time, right? It does take some practice. What you're looking to do is to make a slit all the way around the avocado to match up. And then that pit in the middle, you twist off as you would like turn a pipe, turn a faucet on or turn a faucet off. I should open up like this.
Excuse me.
Yes.
What do we do for our noodles are boiling a lot?
If your noodles are boiling, you take a fork and you taste those noodles to see they're cooked.
Okay, we already did that.
And once they're cooked, I took a colander, as your class notes would say, and I strain them. So I strain to get all the liquid off. So I have my beautiful Soba noodles.
Okay.
And those are put aside until we're ready for them. All right, so you should be still prepping veggies. For the avocado, again, once you have it twisted off, this will take an adult or someone who's a little bit more professional with a knife, and you can just cut into that seed and twist. It should twist out as well. Again, this doesn't tend to happen the first time. So if you have another method, if you use a spoon to remove it, that's completely okay. Whatever is safest and easiest for you, I'd say go ahead with that method. Right? So once your avocado is pitted, as in the pit has been removed, the seed has been removed, you can take a knife or a spoon and try and make chunks and then remove those. I'm actually gonna grab a spoon because that's just easier. So the spoon goes into the corners against that really thick, beautiful skin. And then I get beautiful avocado out. It's empty. Same for the other side. Take a spoon, it goes in. It does take some elbow grease, a little bit of work. But since you guys are outdoors people, you're used to doing a little bit of work. And you're looking for chunks, right? So again, flat side down, and I'm gonna cut these up. I wanna think about the size of my zucchini, and I wanna match my avocado with my zucchini in size as much as possible. Why do I do that? So while avocado can be had raw, it doesn't need to be cooked. But when I'm eating my salad, I want different pieces of veggies to be around the same size. Okay, how are we doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Are folks following along? I'll pause here because a lot of folks get caught up. I see a hand raised. I'll pause because all my veggies are prepped and ready. So I'll pause here.
Go for it, Brendan.
What was in the salad again? Or what was in the salad again?
The salad. So if Brendan, I'd say if you can grab your recipe, and there are two sections. Now repeat with us. The first section is done for the dressing. The second section that says for the noodle salad, we'll go through together as folks are, I think, being caught up at this point. So we should have our grape tomatoes cut in half. We should have our corn cut off the cob. We should have our oils just on standby, ready to go. Then we'll have or noodles are on the stove boiling. Some folks have already boiled theirs, it's strained and ready to go. We'll have our zucchini either spiralized if you have that, or cut into chunks or bite-sized pieces. Then you have a fistful, arugula, but in your case, you have a green leaf lettuce, so 1 cup, a fistful. And then you should also have your avocado in chunks that ideally you want to match the size of your zucchini. Size and shape if possible. Doesn't need to be perfect. That's where we were at this point. So the last piece is, in terms of veggies, is our scallions, right? Both the white and the green parts, we're gonna cut those up. So yes, just to confirm, the noodles, you're making the entire recipe, so you should, I think, have an 8-ounce packet. So the entire thing has to be cooked. If you're serving 4 to 6 people for a family or want to have leftovers. All right. All right, Elevate Youth, how are we doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Veggies are being prepped. So at this stage, I'm gonna take my skillet or frying pan. And because all my veggies are ready to go, I can turn my flame on. And I'm looking for a medium to high. So if your flame goes from like really wide to really narrow, you're looking for a medium size. If you have numbers from 1 to 10, I'd say about 7 is ideal. If you have 1 to 8, around 6 is ideal for this, or 5 or 6 is ideal for this. Someone's excited to try. So thumbs up if you're here with us for the salad, as in you have your items prepped. Okay, I'll still keep kind of talking us through. You will also have some sesame seeds, so these tiny dried seeds, and those are to finish or dish, as in a topping towards the end. All right, Team Elevate. Just to make sure we're on the same page before I start making the salad or sauteing, I'm gonna recap one more time. Tomatoes, check. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Tomatoes, check. Okay. Corn, check. Zucchini, check. I'm going through the veggies only at this point. Avocado, check. Your scallion should be ready as well. And additionally, your noodles should be cooked and drained, and you have your oil ready to go, as well as your sesame seeds for the end. Now I'm not near my screen, so I can only see a few folks. Okay, can you just give me a quick check-in if folks are?
Question. For the zucchini, it has to be raw or just add with the tomato and the noodles?
I did not hear that question.
The zucchini has to be raw?
It will be raw. We'll be sauteing them together.
It's raw when you put it in to the pan, but they are getting sauteed.
Oh no, I thought like just the raw zucchini with the salad, not too salted.
The zucchini will be, so the two things we'll saute is the corn and the tomatoes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So this, similar family to cucumbers or to a yellow squash. So the two things will be sauteed, or the corn and the tomatoes. So let's go ahead and put our pan on, and our oil goes in. I like to use tongs for this, or if you have a wooden spatula, just something you can move very quickly with.
Wait, so we put oil in the pan right now?
Yes. Your oil goes into your pan. And you're looking for about a tablespoon of oil. And a tablespoon of oil, when it goes in, it's super sleepy and cold. It will warm up in about a minute or so. And your tomatoes go in.
I have a question. Do we
Sure.
cook the zucchinis?
We're not cooking the zucchini. We're looking for some crunch in the salad. It will have some heat crunch first, and then the warmth of the noodles and the tomatoes will warm the zucchini. For this salad, we're not cooking the zucchini through.
And we're only putting half the tomatoes and half the corn in, right?
Ready?
We're only putting half of the corn and half of the tomatoes in?
We're doing the entire thing.
Oh, so all the tomatoes and all the corn.
Yes, please. And that goes and gets sauteed together, right? So you're looking for a little bit of char. If you can see this. Uh-oh, I lost it. Let me try a new one. A little bit of char on that sauteed tomato. It brings that sweetness out. Once your tomatoes and your corn is ready, I'd say my corn was already cooked, so it doesn't take a long time. If you have raw corn, I'd say maybe about 3 to 5 minutes. It says 5 to 8 here. Mine takes a shorter time because I have less. So you're looking for tomatoes to start being squishy, that corn to be sweet and cooked all the way through. It's gonna be a bright yellow.
So we put half of the corn in there?
All of the corn and all of the tomatoes.
Okay.
They're actually quite right. I'm so sorry. It does say half. It says half because we do have some raw ones and some cooked ones. So I'm so sorry, sir. It is the half.
Oh, too
Oh.
late.
Yeah, it
No
doesn't
worries.
matter. It
Again.
really doesn't matter. I think a whole is just fine.
I do want to explain the reason though, for texture. So a raw corn versus a cooked corn, a raw tomato or a cooked tomato will give 2 different textures and also different flavors. The raw tomato is more fruity and acidic, and the cooked tomato is sweeter and softer. So that's the reason for texture in the salad. So I made a boo-boo, but again, we can do either half and half or together. It was really for texture in the salad. And again, it says start to caramelize, and by caramelize, I mean that tomato starts to look like really soft. It has some brown bits, and that brings some sweetness into the dish. So while you're sauteing your corn and your tomatoes, I'm gonna grab my bowl to combine this salad. Now it's a summer salad because again, there's so many raw pieces to it. Also, it could be had cold. If you're gonna have it tonight for dinner, it'll be a warm salad really. But this can be refrigerated and be a nice salad you take if you go on like an outdoors trip and you want something like pretty hearty. You can have the salad to go. It can be had cold. So I'm waiting for folks to get their saute on. And while you do that, I'm gonna grab my noodles. Again, I'll have less noodles than you do because I'm making half the recipe. Every time I have a class with you guys and I make a full recipe, I end up having the same meal for 5 days, right? So I'm making only a half this time because I'm only looking for 2 to 3 servings for myself. I'm gonna wait a little bit and look for some thumbs up on that saute. Again, 3 to 5 minutes if you're using less. If you're doing the entire batch, about 5 to 8 minutes or so. But your marker of success, how you know it's ready, is you're looking for caramelized tomatoes. Caramelized is a fancy word for browned or browning. So your tomato starts peeling off the skin. It's like little brown bits, super sweet. That's a caramelized tomato. All right. If your tomatoes are sauteed, I think it tells you in a heat proof bowl, so like a ceramic bowl or a metal bowl, there's something that could take the heat. We're gonna start combining our noodles with our tomatoes and our corn initially. Again,
So when the corn turns brown, we put it into the noodles?
yeah, so once you have your corn and tomatoes browned, you turn the heat off and you carefully transfer the noodles and the tomatoes, the tomatoes and the corn into your noodles. Then you'll add your zucchini. Now, for preference, this recipe does not call for the zucchini to be sauteed. You could do so, but again, it adds some texture, it adds extra fiber, having your veggies raw, and there will be some transference of the heat from the noodles and tomato and corn into the salad and the noodles. So those go in. So all your veggies go in at this point with your noodles. And now at this stage, you can taste, right? Grab a spoon, grab a fork, and taste your salad. Just because it's important for us to see how we're building flavor. I'm gonna taste my salad. And it's pretty, well, I won't tell you. What does it taste like? Any raised hand, what does your salad taste like at this point?
Just a question. Can we add the salad and the noodles together? Or should I wait?
Yep, if you have everything ready, if you have the cooked stuff and all your veggies ready, I get the impression we can now add it all to the pasta. Am I correct, Tamika?
Yes, you're correct. I added the hard veggies first, the cooked ones and the hard veggies. I have my arugula. I wanted folks to taste the salad the way it is. And the way it is meaning the noodles, the tomatoes, the corn, the zucchini, and the avocado. So give a quick taste. We have about 5 minutes. A quick taste to that and any comments on what it tastes like. Any? Okay, you guys are working so hard.
Really?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, my daughter said it's a little bit too spicy, but that's okay.
A little too spicy. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you.
That's because I like it spicy.
Maybe the crushed red pepper, you just control that.
Okay. At this stage for me, thank you for that comment. For this stage for me, it doesn't taste, it tastes like separate. It tastes like corn over here, noodles over here. It's not quite a full salad together. A salad is a medley of different fruits or veggies. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my arugula in. And I think the most important part of this salad is that dressing, right? So I'd say measure out about 2 tablespoons initially, and I'm not measuring, but please go ahead and measure. About 2 tablespoons. And then I take my tongs again, and I really now incorporate all my ingredients together, right?
Chef Tamika, will you tilt your dish there so we can see?
You know what? In my mind, I should use a translucent bowl, right? But that's a good answer for me. Yeah. So I have everything combined. Ooh, it's gonna fall out. But at this stage, I'm gonna ask folks to go again and taste the salad now that it's been dressed. I love that word. It's been dressed. It was unclothed before, it was naked, now it's dressed. Any comments?
Yes. For the lettuce, we're putting in like the these. Do we crumble it up or just put it in there?
It can be crumbled. It will wilt because of the warmth. You can tear it if you want. I put mine in whole just because I know that the heat or the warmth from the salad will wilt it. And wilt means it'll reduce its like thickness.
Okay.
I'm gonna find a different bowl. For those who have combine their salad in the last few minutes. Any comments what the salad tastes like now you've combined the salad with your dressing? Again, you start with 2 tablespoons initially, just to make sure you're not overdressing that salad. And then you can add more based on your preference. Mine is gingery. Mine has a toasted sesame flavor. I also put some cracked pepper in mine. And then I think it's a great point now to add my sesame seeds on top for some crunch and some extra toasty flavor.
Jax, you have a question. Go ahead.
So we put the salad in the noodles now?
You do.
And anybody with questions, feel free to scroll back through the chat too. I tried to put as much detail in there as I could for you. So if you're wondering anything, you can look back through the chat.
So at this stage, just to recap in our last few minutes, you will have a dressed salad. And by dressed, I mean all the 3 things we did. We made a dressing from scratch, so garlic and ginger, that was super delicious. We made boiled Soba noodles, and then we sauteed some veggies, and we had some raw veggies for texture, for color, and we combined those 3 things together. And once you combine those things together, you can add more cracked pepper. I don't think mine needs more salt because the dressing had some flavor to it. But now you have this beautiful salad that has all these textures and layers of flavor. So you have soft noodles, crunchy veggies, sweet veggies, creamy avocado that's really good fat. And then you have those toasted sesame seed on top that gives that toasty, nutty flavor, but also some more texture. And the last piece is your scallions. And scallions are one of the most important parts of Asian American cooking. So ginger and scallion and garlic are almost the 3 major like aromatics or flavors that go into most Asian American dishes. Ginger, garlic, and scallions. And there we have our summer garlic, ginger noodles with fresh veggies. I think you have info in your packet on garlic. Garlic is so common in most cuisines, but if you read about garlic this month in your box, you realize how important it is in terms of nutrition and also its flavor. So we are right at 7:30. I was a little bit nervous before, but we always come through Team Elevate. And there you have your completed dish. I'd love to see photos in the chat as usual, or on Instagram, you tag Elevate Youth, or you email them to Cam or Alec or Gay. But you should have a delicious salad for dinner or for supper or whatever for lunch tomorrow.
Let's give each other a big round of applause.
We're still working on ours.
Well done, everyone. And let me remind folks, I know we've talked about this before in prior classes, but nobody's perfect, right? This is all about some experimenting. Chef Tamika, can you speak just quickly about how important it is to experiment with different ingredients? And maybe I don't like this spicy, or I like it more spicy.
Yeah. So again, taste is so personal, right? And taste comes from your family history, where you live, what you've had before. Some people's palate or their taste buds just don't adjust well to certain tastes. So I think the more you try things on, you try it once and say a no thank you bite. Try things on, try it raw, try it cooked, try it cold, try it hot, try the veggie in the summer, in the winter. Things vary. So if I had any advice, is to try things on, see what your preferences are. If you don't like something one day, try another year or a few months as well, and it may taste differently. In terms of cooking, cooking's an art, baking's a science, has to be exact, but cooking has a way for personal expression. So maybe you want to be colorful, toasty, crunchy. You can alter things once you understand the basic cooking ingredients, or at least the basic cooking methods. You can move things around as your personal preference.
Can I show you what I made?
Absolutely.
Okay, so me and my mom use 2 wooden spoons to be able to mix it because we have tongs.
Innovation.
So here it is.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love the use of the tongs. You made your own wooden tongs, right? Perfect.
It's really delicious and I'm really enjoying it. I think I should be the master of noodles.
Okay.
I love that.
He just wants to eat the noodles.
That's a great idea.
I don't
Anything
blame
else?
him.
I know we're at time. I'm gonna hand back over to Alec, and I've seen some lots of beautiful photos come in. I kind of
Yeah, I
scroll
love the
through.
pictures, everybody.
Can I show mine?
Please
Please.
do.
Not bad.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, everything looks so good.
But I also
Anybody else want to share theirs? Feel free to put it up to your screen. I'll try to spotlight it so everyone can see. All right, I got the Edwards family coming up here.
And don't forget to email us some of your pictures too, so we have them. I can't see everybody's too well on my screen. So.
Jax, look at Jax.
Oh my gosh, gorgeous.
Fantastic. All right, everyone, we're a little over time. I want to be sensitive to everybody, and I know folks are hungry because I certainly am. Please fill out our post-class survey maybe after you're done eating. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure that we are doing our best in future cooking classes. I want to give you a quick heads up. We'll have our last virtual class of the year coming June 2nd. And then hopefully we will be seeing everyone this summer on our summer trips, and we'll be doing some more in-person exploration around produce, farmers markets, and some cooking as well. I want to thank everyone who is new tonight for joining. We really appreciate you joining. We hope you continue with us. And please send us your pictures of your lovely dishes. Most importantly, enjoy the food, and let's give a last round of applause to Gay and Chef Tamika for all the help they've done here tonight.
Thank you,
My
guys.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
We love seeing everybody.
Thank you.
So we're gonna- Thank you. Thank you, Chef Tanika.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Hey, Jamil,
What's in the food?
What do you mean, what's in the?
what's in the food?
Yeah, I mean, what's the ingredients?
Did you miss the class, Jamil?